Hi, guys. We're so excited to start this final portion of the season. We always talk about never taking this for granted. It's such an honor to play in the NCAA tournament, but I think this year, more than ever, just to be able to make it to this point and know you got a chance to play in this great tournament is an incredible accomplishment. I wanted to make sure our guys understood that. And, and now, you play in the NCAA tournament and you know you're going to play a great team. We're playing a great team in Winthrop that's 23-1, won their regular season, their tournament. They shoot the threes. They got good inside people, great shooters, 6-7 point guard. They're a really well-coached team. So, but that's what you get in the NCAA tournament. I think I would be saying about anybody we played.
All right, we'll go for questions. Joe Giuliano, start us off.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, JoJo.
You mentioned the 6'7" guard, Vaudrin. The guy's had 3 triple-doubles, the only guy in the country to do that. Do you know much about him and what makes him such a good versatile player?
He's got great size and mobility and a very high basketball IQ. And I just get that from watching, as soon as we got it, normally we got the media's right there. So we got to watch film and just watching him, size, mobility, and skill. And and high basketball IQ. That combination is rare and he's got it and he's going to be a handful.
And what's the sense of relief for you to get to play in the tournament this year after not being able to last year?
There's a lot of feelings, Joe, but I think relief is one of those feelings that, we made it this far, and we made it through the regular season. We made it through the conference tournament and we get to play in the NCAA tournament. It really is a great sense of relief. And it's a sense of accomplishment, and there's a great sense of gratefulness, that we've been able to get here.
And are you in Indy right now?
No, we're still in New York City. So we've stayed in the bubble. We were kind of told when we came up here by the NCAA, it's best to wherever you go, stay so that you don't go back and possibly, contract the virus, so you can stay. But so we've stayed bubbled. We've stayed in this hotel here in New York since we lost on Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
You got it.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Jay. So when will you be headed to Indiana?
At some time tomorrow. We haven't gotten the call yet to know what time or what hotel we're staying in. All we know is we're playing Friday and we don't know what time.
Just how different was this selection show environment? Because usually you're at the Finn or someplace and it's with all your people there.
It's really strange. Another part of this season that's really strange. We're in a hotel room here by ourselves in a meeting room. No one here, no media, no fans, no family. I can't say I dislike that, but I just feel for. I think we only have Jermaine Samuels, Brandon Slater, and Cole Swider who've played in the NCAA tournament. That's it, and it's the first time for everybody else. And even all those other guys, they didn't get, last year they didn't get to experience it. So they're really excited, but they don't know what it's really like, because they haven't seen that experience we have on campus with that huge crowd and all the media. But I know they're really excited. And as I said, there's a unique gratefulness this year to just be able to still play, which is just different than any other year.
And your defense is kind of, you've had your ups and downs. This is a team that's going to test you.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I probably would say this about who we play, but I mean, this is a tough matchup. They're similar to Creighton, who has given us trouble. A lot of 3-point shooters, great skill level, great offensive execution, play fast, a tough matchup for us.
Thanks, Jay.
Got it.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey Jay, how are you?
Hey, Jeff.
How's it going? Obviously, I know you're thankful to be here and happy to be here. Totally get it. When it comes though to game time, you're going to be trying to obviously win this game. And with the kind of last month you guys have had, and really this whole season between COVID and injuries and things like that, how do you flip that switch really with your team and get them to kind of forget about the last month and all the issues you guys have had and just go out and play and win?
Well, to your question, once game time starts, it's easy. Because when game time starts, you got competitors and the thrill of the game. You forget everything that happened during the season, and you forget about everything. Injuries, COVID, but it's all the rest of the time that you really do. We talk to the guys about gratefulness and attitude and taking on the next day and whatever the next challenge is, and a great life lesson that way. And we've practiced every day since we've been up here, since we lost, and we've had great practices, great energy, great attitude. And we're explaining to the guys, like, that's important in life. Tough loss against Georgetown, it's not the end of the world. It's how you come back the next day. And I've been pleased with our guys' attitude.
And kind of feeding off that, are you concerned at all? I think you guys are like 5-5 since your 11-1 start. Are you concerned at all about like confidence or anything like that going into the tournament? Or are you not worried about this group at all?
The head coach worries about everything. So, I would be less than honest if I didn't say I have concerns, but I do have a good feeling about this group and their confidence. I do have a good feeling about their prospects and how committed they are, how positive they've been with their attitude. But you keep an eye on all of those factors you mentioned as a coach.
Thanks, Jay. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Austin, go ahead.
Hey Jay, how's it going?
Hey, Austin.
So you're in that 5-12 spot, and that's sort of those trendy upset picks in the bracket. How do you get the guys to sort of block out the noise?
It's something that we try to do all year with these guys, that to get them to understand. A lot of times the noise is overhyped for us, and so we try to explain to them, if we're not listening to people when they say we're really good, then we don't have to listen to them when they say we're not good either, and I'm sure we're going to be a trendy pick, to get upset in this game, but I think our team understands, and I think being at Villanova, they understand, like, this is something that you deal with all the time, and then we evaluate ourselves by our own standards, but we respect that fans and media have to have their opinion. If they didn't, we wouldn't get to play in front of these great crowds that we normally do and have the excitement of the NCAA tournament. So you got to respect everyone's right to have their opinion.
And you mentioned the crowds, 25% capacity at the NCAA tournament. That's probably going to be about more than anything you've played in front of. How you feeling heading into that environment?
Each time you have a little bit of fans, I know we didn't play great, but Madison Square Garden, we had some fans. At Texas, we had some fans. At Creighton, we had some fans. The more fans are in the building, the more juice and energy it gives you. It's never a negative. It's always a positive.
All right, Jay, thanks again. Take care.
Take care, Austin.
Tom, go ahead.
Yes, Jay, I was wondering if you thought maybe the lack of Big East tournament experience, which you talked about beforehand, might have been a bit of a factor down the stretch against Georgetown. And if so, kind of how do you combat the lack of NCAA tournament experience starting Friday?
Yeah, it definitely could have been, Tom, but that's, you kind of look at what can we control and what can't we control. That we have no control of. So, it definitely could have been, but we don't even address it because we can't control it. It's the same thing with the NCAA tournament. You got to go through it. You got to live it. And some guys never play in it and do a great job. Some guys get affected by it, but you can't worry about that because you can't control that.
Thank you.
You got it.
Ed, go ahead.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hey, Ed.
You were surprised as the rest of us, as anyone, to see Justin Moore play on Thursday. How was his ankle coming out of that game, and how has it progressed between Thursday and right now?
Yeah, we definitely weren't playing any games. I mean, our trainer told us the best chance would be possibly he could play on Saturday if we made it to Saturday. And then he worked out a little bit on Wednesday, and he said the same thing. And then he was working out on the court before the game, and he came to me and said, "You're not going to believe this, but he looks great. There's nothing he can't do, and he wants to play." So, the trainer said he was okay and he wants to play. I want to give him the chance. And I think he came out of it pretty well. Like, we gave him a couple of days off after, but then he practiced today, and I think he'll be fine.
And quick follow-up to the fan situation. Will it be easier? Will there be less distractions? There will be less of a ticket demand and less alumni wanting to go out there. Could that help a little bit?
I'll tell you what, honestly, Ed, we have such a great staff here. All those ticket demands and all that stuff, I don't have to deal with it. They handle it for me, but it might distract the kids a little bit. This will be the first time, they get tickets for these games for all their family, and I'm sure everybody's going to want to be out there, but we can't see anybody. We'll be locked in the bubble. So I don't know what to tell you, but I do know it's always better for us when there are fans in the stands.
Thanks.
You got it, buddy.
David, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, a couple questions for you. One, did the NCAA reach out to you about saying which venue you would be playing your game in?
No, not yet.
And if you were given the choice, would you rather go to Hinkle Fieldhouse since you have experience playing there?
David, I honestly don't. I never care where we play. I really don't. You're in the NCAA tournament. You take what they give you. I'll never forget the year that we didn't get to play in the Wells Fargo Center, and they shipped us to Louisville, and everybody was going crazy, and we wound up winning a national championship. So I've learned my lesson. I didn't complain that time, but I just have learned over the years. NCAA tournament, take what they give you, and just be ready to play.
What is your message to your young players that never experienced playing in the NCAA tournament?
That it's one of the great experiences of your sporting career and your basketball career, and enjoy every minute of it, and just make sure that you leave everything on the floor and don't take it for granted. Don't think you're going to be back there next year.
And finally, for me, is you always say you always learn from previous experiences. What can you take away from your previous experiences being in the NCAA tournament going into this year, knowing the uncertainty of it?
Just control what you can control. I think Austin or someone asked me about, our guys not having experience in the tournament. It's just, talking to the guys about what we can control in the game and having them prepare for that. Because we do know in past years when we've had experienced guys that have been in the tournament before, it doesn't matter how many times the coach has been in it, because it's a unique experience that players can benefit from. It's really how much the experience the players have in the NCAA tournament. So knowing that it's not something we can control, concentrate on how hard we play and being prepared for Winthrop.
All right, thank you. Good luck in the NCAAs.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. That is all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Jermaine, after not being able to play in the NCAA tournament last year, what's it going to be like, do you think? Well, first of all, how do you feel about having a shot to play in it again this year?
Very, very grateful. Again, like you said, last year we didn't get a chance to play in it. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to, play in the postseason. Definitely not going to take it for granted.
And I know you guys aren't letting your guard down as far as COVID is concerned, but what's it been like to kind of just be walking on eggshells this year, just hoping that you guys can stay healthy to get to the NCAA tournament?
It's definitely very hard, very challenging. But at the end of the day, we all know it was for something greater. And a lot of us sacrificed a lot, not seeing friends, not seeing family, but we all know that it was all for this opportunity right here. And we're going to try and make the most of it.
And what's it been like? Coach said you've been in New York since losing to Georgetown. What's it been like? How are you guys spirit-wise? And what's the feeling about going to Indianapolis?
We feel great. We've got a lot of time to, sit down, digest, practice, get better at everything within our program, our core values. So we're really excited. We're confident, and we can't wait to be out there and play Villanova basketball again.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Thank you.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, you're one of the few guys on this team with NCAA tournament experience. And I know Cole and Brandon played a little bit, but not a whole lot. What message do you have to the younger players how to deal with this whole March Madness?
I just tell them, it's 94 by 50 on the court. There's going to be a lot of things going on around us, but it's all about trying to get the job done on the floor. And at the same time, enjoy it. There's a lot of teams, a lot of players that don't get a chance to punch their ticket in. Every time you get a chance to you make the most of it. You embrace the tournament itself and just be in the moment. And at the same time, know why you're there. It's not all fun and games. Everybody's there for a reason. So it's all about competing at the highest level.
And what do you know about your opponent, Winthrop?
I know that they're a great team, a great shooting team. They're 23-1. They won their conference tournament and regular season. So they're a really great team, really hungry team. It should be interesting to see when we play them.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have a question for Jermaine? If so, just raise your hand. Thank you, Jermaine.
Thank you, guys. Have a good.
Hi, Jeremiah. What's the feeling of anticipation for you finally getting a chance to play in your first NCAA tournament?
I think it's an experience that every basketball player is wanting to be in, and I think it's going to be a very awesome and unique situation that we're in, going out to Indy and it's in the middle of a pandemic. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really fired up to go out there and play.
And what's it been like to finally reach the finish line, so to speak? You guys have had to worry about COVID all season. What's that been like? Kind of walking on eggshells and finally getting to this point.
I think it means a lot getting to this point, but it's everything that we've been doing this whole season is leading up to this. So I think the job's not finished yet. So we're just super excited to get after it.
Thank you.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, Jeremiah, excuse me, just had Jermaine on. A year ago, you guys had this possible experience kind of pulled out from under you. Just how grateful are you to have this shot?
I think I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful for myself, and I think everybody a part of Villanova basketball is as well. I think it's just sometimes you just got to take a step back from basketball and just look at life, and just they were grateful that everybody's been able to stay healthy and just be. We've had our setbacks with COVID, but everybody was able to get through it and be healthy, and that we're just grateful that God was able to put us in this position. But we're super excited to go get out there and get after it.
And what was your first selection Sunday like? Because again, you didn't have that last year. And usually it's in a big room with a lot of people. Coach said you were just in a hotel room with the team.
I mean, personally, it was. I can't compare it to anything since we were all just social distance, kind of just with each other instead of like Coach was saying and some of the players about how it's normally there's a lot of people around there and just media and all that. But I was super fired up watching the selection show, and I'm just super excited to get after these next couple of practices and then play on Friday.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Ed, go ahead.
Hi, Jeremiah. You've had a couple weeks now without Collins, your point guard, and you had a Georgetown game that really could have gone either way with the exception of a few plays. Do you feel like you kind of settled in and gotten used to the situation as best you can, and there's some of that chemistry going on even without Colin on the court now?
Yeah, I think we've been doing a great job, even though the last two games weren't the results we wanted. But I think we've been doing a great job with the circumstances that we've been in, just being able to adjust to the most difficult situations, and that we just don't have any excuses for anything. But I think we're in a good spot with having a lot of practice from not being able to play in the tournament championship. But I think we're able to get a lot of good practice in for the tournament, and I think we're ready to go. We're going to be ready to go on Friday.